have to ask yourself, what are you selling? Are you selling music? Are you selling a lifestyle? Or are you selling booze? If you're a club musician, that's probably your reality. But there was an interesting article that I saw. It came out about 3 or 4 days ago. And it was from the bass player of Exodus, well-known metal band, very successful. They've done a lot of things. They've played a lot of shows, thousands and thousands of shows. And he said, I am just a T-shirt salesman. My job is to sell tchotchkes. Okay, what is a tchotchke? Okay, anything that you sell with your brand logo on it, right? Whether it's T-shirts or caps or shoes or guitar picks or, dog tags or water bottles or anything that you can think of that you think you can sell. Yeah, you got into this. You got into music, to play music. But the nature of the business now has made it so you've got to sell something besides the music in order to make it. You might not even, have a profit at the end of your tour with just the money that you're getting paid by the venues or the promoters. So your merch money becomes very, very important. And you've got to have good merch, maybe even great merch. And you've got to price it accordingly, competitively. And this is a process that takes some expertise. Yeah, sure, you can go online and, throw together some designs and, buy a box of T-shirts and, try to sell them, have your girlfriend or your wife sell them at the shows. But if your act is on its way up, you're going to need a consultant. You're going to need somebody that understands the business, the costs involved, what sells, what doesn't. Just like I'd seen Tom Bukovac say that the Gildan T-shirts. Now, I've made this mistake before in the past, and I bought the wrong T-shirts and maybe, picked the wrong sizes. And the reality was I ended up just giving the T-shirts away. It was kind of like, well, it's better to have them out there with the band logo on them than to just have them sitting in a box, kind of like that box of CDs that you can't get rid of now, So it's important to have somebody that can guide you through the process. Sure, you can order your own shirts. Sure, you can order your own water bottles, whatever. But it's important to have somebody, have a representative, have a company that can help you pick the right things so that it is profitable for you. Now, I've got a good friend. My band in LA, Boy Elroy was my second band, and we were, started off with 2 horn players, and we were a funky, edgy type band. But even back then, we weren't at the point yet where, we could sell merch, and it was cost prohibitive then. But now it's even more affordable for you to get in the merch game and start making money on your gigs. Bob Nellis is the owner and CEO of Offbeat Productions. All right. Now, Offbeat Productions specializes in, tchotchkes and merch and all of that. And he was also the drummer in my band in LA, Boy Elroy. Now, I know back in the day when we were out in LA, Bob, he's a businessman and he's smart, right? And he understands, and he had all kinds of connections in the music business. And he's a heck of a drummer. I mean, a really good drummer. And, back then, Bob was designing platinum and gold plaques for record labels. And he would go into the record labels and he would go, I've designed this plaque. How many would you like? And that was the business that he had back then. And he also dipped his toes in the merch side of things as well back then. But really, he did a lot of work in the platinum and gold plaque business, selling to record labels. Now that there's no, labels per se, and, in my case, I had to pay for my own plaques because the labels just don't even pay for them anymore. Bob now, and their company, and they've been going strong for a long time. This is not some fly-by-night, me and Bob reconnected, probably a couple of years ago. I mean, we've always kind of stayed in touch, but we started doing business together. I started producing music for his online content. And we started working on some old music that we had, done in the past. And we've really forged, sort of a creative alliance. And I'll give him ideas from time to time. But he is really an expert in this business of merch. And like I said, you need a liaison, someone to guide you to say, look, these shirts, no, you don't want these. What you want, and I can get you a deal on these over here. And these shirts or these, these merch items will fly off the shelf. And, without that, you're going to make some of the same mistakes that I made in the past. Buying the wrong stuff, getting the wrong sizes, shirts that don't fit, shirts that don't feel good, shirts that nobody wants. And, like I said, it's imperative if you want to make money. Now, the big acts, the big arena filling acts, they have separate guys on the staff, and some of the most well-paid guys in the whole industry are the guys that manage the merch. And man, some of those guys can make 6 figures selling merch. So if you're out there playing and you're not selling merch, man, you got to get in the game. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to have Bob chime in on this topic. And I want you to, if you need merch, if you're looking to get your band jumping, if you're thinking for your business, I know there's a lot of people out there that watch this channel that are businessmen, because they know that, I give straight talk on this channel. There is no BS in what the stories I tell and the truths that I purvey on this channel. And Bob can give you his 2 cents on the importance of having the right merch and the right items to have on your merch table. And he can get them for you, and he can get them for you at a better price than you're gonna just get clicking around on the internet. Now, I'll let Bob chime in on this topic.
Hey guys, it's Bob over here at Offbeat. Just wanted to check in with you guys. First, let's address my hair. Let's get right out of the way. Brad was talking about bad hair. I think I win the award. I think my hair's been bad for my whole life. Maybe 2-week period. In the 90s, I had it rocking. I still live on that moment. It's a 2-week period. People come up and go, your hair, it's awesome. No one says that anymore. Hey, Brad, I saw that article about the guy from Exodus, and man, that must feel like that. You know, there's half the bands have a merch deal with their record company, and the record company is now making a living off the merch business. And half of them keep it themselves and try to peddle it, and that's what I think he's probably experiencing. It's a tough thing to be out there in the world and sell these things. I was in Nashville not too long ago visiting you, and the guy's hustling us for tips between songs. Like, used to be the singer just wanted to sing. Now he's got to kind of get after it and get some money out of the people. But, you know, it is what it is. It's the days. I was working a 7 a.m. day job right out of college. We were going out till 3 in the morning. The two just weren't really working for me too well. I was getting up at 6. When you're young, you can kind of do it, but I needed something else. And I was in this Taekwondo class at the time, and I met a guy that was like, I make t-shirts, and told me he made $100 a day. And I'm like, man, I could be a drummer and make $100 a day. I'm in. So I think I started by selling t-shirts to fraternities, and then that led to me somehow getting into record companies. And I've done a lot of t-shirts for a lot of record companies over the years, and that kind of led to entertainment companies. And there's not a lot to know. Your art has to be right. You can find online things that are decent, but they're not really going to care that much. And I think that is probably what separates us. Is I don't want to see a t-shirt of mine that doesn't wear well. I don't like those shirts when you're in the gym and you lift your arms and you can see your belly because they shrink. Brad, you mentioned some shirts that you bought that weren't too great. That would fall under that. Bad shirts. Anyway, I do shirts and hats and all this stuff, and I've done it for a long time. At that point, I was doing a lot of record companies and making shirts for the Black Crowes and pretty big bands that had some zeros at the end. So that was more fun than offering it up to the bands on the Sunset Strip.
Thanks so much, Bob, for making an appearance on this channel. Perhaps sometime we're going to have me and Bob will get together, and we will have a tell some stories of back in the day, because I'm sure there's things that he remembers that I forgot, and some things that I remember that he forgot. And man, we really had some good times out in LA. But the importance of merch, man, it's so vitally important, whether it's a band or a business, and the other thing is, these can be promotional items, right? Not every business is going to be selling their t-shirts. If you're a big company and you're watching this and you need a representative to get the right stuff to promote your brand, Offbeat, Bob Nellis, that's who you need to go with. Thanks so much for watching.